It's been 13 and a half years since my baby girl got banned from Commander. And whilst people can run Cyclonic Rift and overload it whenever the hell they want, I've always been wondering, why can't I play Emrakul? And in this show, we're going to talk why I can't play Emrakul. Welcome to Casual Compliance.
We're going to talk about her eventually.
God, I hope so. And you know, I hope it's this episode.
I mean, she's on the wheel.
She is on the wheel.
She is on the wheel. Welcome back. My name's Chilibin.
And my name's Cramps.
This is episode 3?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. We don't count 0.
Yeah, we don't count 0.
No, that was just an hour of us kind of talking shit.
Yeah, pretty
if
much.
I'm honest.
It was a really good one, though. We spoke about Magic once. My brother said to me that
A few times.
he watched the TikToks and he realized once it got to the Magic part, he had no idea what we were talking about.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Does he play Magic?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
This is our show where we talk about the commander list and specifically the banned commander list. The cards that aren't allowed to be played.
The banned card list.
Yes, the banned card list.
Not just banned commanders.
That's French EDH, where it has banned as commander.
Free DH.
Free DH. So this is our show where we talk about the banned list.
Lee DH.
Left DH.
Yeah.
Far out. This is the show where we talk about the ban list for the most casual format of Magic Commander. And we're going to talk about a specific card that we spin on the wheel. I'm going to spit out this fucking gum. Sorry. Pause. We're here to talk about the Commander ban list and the cards that are on there, what they mean for the format of the game. And we're going to come to a collective decision is, should we unban the card? Should we ban the card? Yeah, keep the card banned? And we all know the real answer to that. We should unban the card.
Uh-huh. So far, 0 from 2 for unban.
The scoreboard just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make one.
Yeah, good.
I think, at this point.
One day I will convince you.
So there's now 2 running scoreboards. If I remember our lore, it's how many cards have we said we could unban?
Yep.
Just 0 out of 2.
0 out of 2.
And the other one, I believe, is how many cards interact with Staff of Domination in a bad way.
Oh, that is the other one. And what's that? We're technically at 2 because both Recurring Nightmare and Roughalos could. Roughalos definitely could.
I don't think Staff of Domination worked with Recurring Nightmare. Roughalos definitely.
Yeah.
Because Recurring Nightmare was not like anything that generated mana in the way that Staff of Domination needs you to do. There's probably something you could do there. But.
Probably a way. It's like we're gonna name it a casual 1 with like an asterisk.
I will say, making the show makes me want to go and buy a Staff of Domination.
Oh, I've got 2.
Okay, can I have one?
Yeah.
I want to do some degenerate shit.
Oh no, you can't have one anymore. Anyway, let's get to the wheel.
Yeah. Let's find out what we're playing for today on Casual Compliance.
Casual Compliance, the most casual format.
Yeah.
Start recording of the wheel.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's the wheel? There it is. Okay. And we're spinning.
What's it gonna be?
Okay, come on.
Can you tell that I've had a whole beer before we started this? What's up?
We were so close to Golos.
What is it?
It's Gifts Ungiven.
Okay. This one, I feel like I've heard the name before.
Let's have a look.
Which is a first.
Oh, I'm going to hide this I'm going to hide the input. I'm going to stop the recording.
Please tell me a tale about Gifts Ungiven.
And let's talk about Gifts Ungiven real quickly. We're just going to paint the picture of the card, first of all.
Paint it for me, because I can't see your screen or the card.
So, Gifts Ungiven is a 4-cost, blue and 3.
All right, so, yep, cool.
Instant that says, search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand, then shuffle.
All right. 4 mana to tutor 2 anything?
4 mana to in a basic deck, 4 mana to tutor 2 anything.
Yeah.
I'll put this away. 4 mana to tutor 2 anything.
Because it is just
4 mana to.
Because it's go and find 4 cards with different names, which is literally anything out of your deck.
Yes.
And then you give that to an opponent.
2 go in your hand.
They pick.
Yep.
They pick 2.
The 2 they pick go in your hand. The other 2 go what? No, sorry. The 2 they pick go to your graveyard.
Yeah.
The other 2 go to your hand.
Okay. I mean, any card that specifies cards with different names immediately has an advantage in Commander because it clearly wasn't designed for it.
Yeah.
And Commander is a singleton format. So it's already kind of getting a leg up because you could pick anything.
Yeah. And this is a Masters level card. The printing they show on the website is from Double
Yeah,
Masters.
because I feel like the reason they
2022.
put the language with different name is so that you don't tutor up a playset of something in something like modern or standard or what have you.
Yeah.
In Commander, though, that's like the bread and butter, baby. That's everything.
This doesn't affect the mechanic of
It's-
the card. It means I can't find 4 forests.
You can find one
But one.
if you're behind on lands.
Exactly.
But then you can find 3, to quote a previous episode, big fatties.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Recurring nightmare.
Um,
you want to find these fatties? Let's Gifts Ungiven them.
let's say, okay, so this is blue.
Yep.
Let's say you're running at least blue-red.
Yep.
Sneak attack is available.
Mm-hmm.
You have that on the field.
Mhm.
You pay, 1 mana to just drop a creature into play.
Yes.
You could use this to go and find 4 massive creatures and make someone have a really tough choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, the cards go to your hand and your graveyard.
Yeah.
So there are decks that this can be really broken in, but
Like anything with a Reanimator sort of, or Aristocrats theme.
Sultai very much goes in there.
Blue, black minimum.
Blue, black minimum.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it still requires more effort to still do things with. I guess it gives you cards, puts them in the graveyard, puts them in your hand, but you don't just get to play those cards. And like even with Sneak Attack,
Yeah. How
the
much
cards
does
that
it cost?
exile at the end, 4 cost, blue and 3.
Yeah.
So it's susceptible to counter spells still,
It's,
as everything else
What
is.
did you say? Sorcery?
It's an instant.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
I don't actually see if that makes a difference.
Well, because like the classic thing is do that on the end step of the person before you.
Yeah.
And then you enter the turn with all your mana and these 2 potentially dangerous cards in hand.
Yeah.
Or in graveyard.
Yeah.
And if you have a way to bring them out or just play them or whatever, by the time you're playing that at 4 cost, you could be playing something like a High Tide that basically doubles your island's mana production.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways I could see this just being problematic in a way that gets it banned, though. That's what I'm trying to puzzle out.
It's a tough one.
Like, the main thing I can think of that might be why we got to this point is similar to Recurring Nightmare, where it makes it easy to get access to really big creatures. Or, I don't know, other just dangerous pieces that you've got hidden away in the deck, right? And that's why maybe some people don't like running tutors as much, because it's just like, oh, I'm going to go find the answer.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm going to find 4 big answers, and I'm going to make you choose which one you want to deal with.
Which one's going in the graveyard, which one's going here. By the way, I have a Virtue of Persistence out, so if it goes in the graveyard, I get it back anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn, I play the Recurring Nightmare.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm seeing now, having done 0 research and just hearing what the card does, I'm not immediately hearing a banned card.
I'm gonna spike the camera every time you do that.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true.
Yeah, that is kind of where I always end up is like, and I think I said this on Recurring Nightmare, is what am I missing?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a card I've seen before. I think I've heard the name a couple of times here or there, but because it's banned in Commander, and that's mostly what I play, I haven't actually seen it play out.
Yeah.
Now, we've done 2 of these episodes. I can't remember. Are you going to tell me why they've banned it now or after we do research?
After we do research.
Okay, that makes sense.
After we do research.
I like that.
Because with Rothlos, you were on the nose with why it was banned.
That's right.
You were very active.
Yeah, I remember that being after the break.
Anyway, look, I think it can be unbanned because I actually, with this, even though I'm like in my head knowing what I can do with this card and what I would play it in immediately, like I'm constructing decks in here as we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, it's interruptible.
I don't think it needs to be on the ban list.
Yeah.
This is one where I'm actually really excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
Because, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I've read the reason. I still don't. I don't actually agree with the reason. So.
Okay. Well, don't tell me. I'm gonna go look it up.
Let's get into the research phase and see where we go.
Yeah.
Hey there, it's Chilibit again, aka Syntax Daddy, coming at you with another little Scryfall search tip. This time we're going to be looking at one of my favorite parts of Scryfall, probably one of the most powerful, most slept on features, perhaps, in Scryfall. So let's get into it. So we're going to do our usual starting search here of F Commander, get us onto Commander legal cards. This episode we're talking about Gifts Ungiven, so let's filter it down to color identity, including blue with ID greater than or equal to U. And then in the Oracle text, we're going to look for the words search your library. Gifts Ungiven being a tutor, maybe we want to go build a deck full of tutors. Who knows? There's plenty of those in the game. Why not just start by seeing how many there are? So as you can see, we're looking at over 100 tutors that are legal in Commander, that are at least blue as far as color identity goes. So that's pretty good. Probably want to get a bit more specific from there. What we're actually going to do is go all the way to the bottom of the page here in Scryfall. And we're going to click on this thing called Scryfall Tagger. Tagger is a crowdsourced tag catalog for Magic the Gathering cards and illustrations, as it says here on the screen. This is the result of people going in here and manually adding tags for cards. You can see some of the suggestions here on the screen. We've got, what is this? Mobius strip as an art tag. So if you typed that in to Scryfall, it would do a search on illustrations where people think there's a Mobius strip. And that's all tags added to cards by people doing it manually, just like people edit Wikipedia. But what we're going to look for is the other type of tags, which are known as Oracle or function tags. So if you open this helpful little tab on the side by clicking tags, you will be able to search all of the tags in this tag database. What we're going to do is type in tutor into this filter at the top. And if we scroll down the list here, you'll see all sorts of different tutor options that you could search for. You could tutor creature demon. There's apparently 2 of those. Based on the name alone, I would guess that is going to let you go and find a demon out of your library. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're just going to scroll up. We're going to click on tutor. It's going to give you basically anything that lets you search a library. Given that this is just looking at every card, we're getting nearly 1,000 of them. So let's go back to our actual search. So if we take our search from before and replace the search for the words search your library with otag : tutor. So we're searching Oracle tag. You can also write function : tutor in this case, which I think is a little bit more descriptive, but they do the same thing. And then that is going to bring us back actually more cards than we had before, because looking at some of these just in the first few that are returned, they're letting us search other people's libraries too, as is the case with the card Acquire, which is 3 blue for a sorcery that says search target opponent's library for an artifact card, and then put that into play under your control. Then that player shuffles their library. Pretty neat card, actually. I'd never seen that before. I might have a deck that could go into. But yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of Scryfall. It's incredibly powerful, it's incredibly deep, and it is entirely thanks to people manually adding tags to these cards. Cannot tell you the number of times I have used this when building decks. And that's all I've got for you this time. I would encourage you to actually go and look through the list of tags, try searching for some yourself. There is a depth of possibility in there. Happy building.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Here at Casual Compliance, we like to have a little scoreboard of unban versus ban. And the scoreboard at the moment is 0 for 2 where I am, because I'm trying to basically convince Mr. Bin here, Mr. Chili Bin, that we can unban every card.
Yeah.
And I think I might have one. So just to reiterate, I guess, the card, we have Gifts Ungiven. It's 3 and a blue for an instant. It's printed at rare. It was first printed in 2004 in October. It was banned 2009 in June. And it says, search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand, then shuffle. thoughts? Because you've done the research,
yeah.
Mr. Scryfall.
I have really tried here. I looked at all of my user resources of Commander Spellbook. There was nothing on there. So that, I mean, I didn't expect that this would let you go infinite in any way, which is a lot of what Commander Spellbook will surface. I didn't find anything at all. Even...
I should probably tell you why it's banned.
Well,
But
yeah.
like that's a good insight,
yeah,
really.
that's good. I did also note there's a note on Scryfall for this card that says you can choose to find fewer than 4 cards if you want.
Yeah.
If you find 1 or 2 cards, your opponent must choose for them to be put in the graveyard even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Which I guess is interesting, but not
amazing.
Not that useful.
Yeah.
And that is the only Chrome tab I have open because I couldn't fucking find a damn thing that really made me think, yeah, I get it, without, like, this is all without having heard the official reason for its ban, which you're going to tell me now because I fucking need to know.
Yes. Gifts low U investment, so low blue investment, makes it splashable, which I'll get to in a second.
All right.
And the instant speed means you can use it at the most opportune time with lowered chance for countering or interaction.
Yeah.
That's how instants work.
So before it's your turn. Yep.
Exactly. The ability to tutor for 2 combo pieces and 2 ways to recur them generally makes this a 1-card game ender. And even in the most casual play is a double tutor.
Yeah. that feels like where I was going before we did any research.
Yeah.
And I get that.
I think in casual Commander, in Commander as a casual format, we don't splash.
No.
I'm not going to play a Grixis Commander to play Rakdos with the Gifts Ungiven.
Plus a couple of blue cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that is a good reason to have a card on the ban list of it's splashable.
Yeah.
No, if you're splashing in Commander, you're thinking of CEDH, and we ain't here for that shit.
No, that's, well, look, hey, if you enjoy it,
enjoy it.
More power to you.
Exactly.
Not for us.
We're casual.
Yeah.
We're compliant to our casualness.
Yes.
And we don't run proxies. You also, if you run proxies, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think, like, when I am assessing a commander I want to build a deck around.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to think about splashing, it's like 3 color plus territory where it's like, I'm largely leaning on 2 of the colors to do something interesting, unless the commander's abilities kind of push me in a certain direction. That's like the only time. And usually what that looks like in terms of my deck construction is just different percentages of how much of each color is in the deck. It's not like 95% these 2 plus a couple of cards. It's more like sort of, I don't know, 60-40 or like some different kind of ratio that's a little more even. But I do agree with how powerful this is as effectively a double tutor, like they say. Like, and especially like we talked about, if you've got a way to get stuff out of the graveyard.
Well, let's talk about a card that does something similar for cheaper. It's a card called Intuition. Feel free to look it up while I talk about it because I can't remember one detail about it.
Okay.
Intuition is blue and 2. I just don't remember if it's a sorcerer or an instant. I believe it's an instant.
Intuition.
And Intuition is Gifts Ungiven, but with 3 cards. But you have to look at 3 cards. You have to find it. So
Intuition. Here we go.
2 to 3 cards.
Intuition is a 3-cost instant, so 2 and 1 blue, 2 generic, 1 blue. Search your library for 3 cards and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 1. Put that card into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Then shuffle.
It's Gifts Ungiven, but kind of with a reverse flavor. That's fully legal in Commander.
It is.
And so if 1 extra tutor is 1 generic mana more, why is that more broken?
I think to the point in their ruling about combo pieces.
Yeah.
It's very easy to have 2 cards do something really synergistic. And usually it's a bit of work for you to get both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
This is 1 card that sets you up for that.
Yes. And I guess a lot of the things I was seeing was stuff like Tooth and Nail, which is a 7-cost green card that has Entwine.
Right.
It's 2 green and 5. And then Entwine is 2 generic. And it's 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand. and then 2 cards from your hand to the battlefield. Sorry, 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand, 2 creatures from your hand to the battlefield. And now I'm doubting myself on that, but I have Tooth and Nail open. Yep, no, I was right. No, sorry. Search your library for 2 creature cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then 2 creature cards from your graveyard, from your hand to the battlefield if you cast the Entwine.
Okay.
And a lot of the discourse around Gifts Ungiven is that Tooth and Nail should be banned.
Right.
Instead of Gifts Ungiven.
Yeah. I'm going to put this down so I don't need it.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the things is, talking about, let's say we're running Gifts Ungiven in a Sultai deck. Green, black, blue. You've got the Gifts Ungiven and you find Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood.
Yep.
That's your life, infinite life gain, infinite life loss combo kind of set up.
Well, you could also, to take that in a slightly different direction, if, again, Sultai, you have access to Golgari, which maybe gives you Mirren of Clan Nel Toth sitting in there. Maybe what you do is give them a choice between 2 big creatures as a decoy, because the other 2 are the combo pieces you want. And they're like, well, I don't want these creatures, put them in the graveyard, but Mirren will eventually let you get them back out.
Exactly. And you've got the combo pieces there.
Yeah.
But with the like your combo pieces, you also can put Eternal Witness there. Return a card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah.
And Muldrotha.
Yep.
Or Mimeoplasm.
Yeah.
Or anything. So you kind of force the person to pick, do I separate the combo pieces, put 1 combo piece in your hand, 1 in the graveyard, but then you've got 2 cards that return cards?
Yeah.
Or do I give you the 2 creatures that return cards and put the combo pieces in the graveyard? Or do I give you the combo pieces and put the 2 returns in the graveyard?
Yeah.
It's very good for very specific use cases.
Yeah.
Like, it still requires you to be playing something like Recursion. Like, you could put it in Grixis Recursion.
I still think if this were legal, you would see it everywhere. Because being able to just go and find 2 of anything.
Yeah.
2 out of 4.
Yeah.
Like, you would just, I think, like I said at the start, like, give them 4 really good options for you.
Yeah.
In, like, good in the terms of each one of them on their own, 1 card would be good for where you are right now. And they're like, well, fuck, I have to give you 2 of them.
Yeah. But the thing is also, you're revealing the cards.
Yeah.
And there's 4 people in play. I think the thing that really kind of shoots this card in the foot is the instant speed.
Yeah.
It's this person's had their turn, that person's had their turn, this person's having their turn and it's at their end step. I play Gifts Ungiven.
Yeah.
Because everyone's done all their stuff. I've assessed the board. It won't be counted. And I'm about to have all my mana, Prophet of Krufix style, to play whatever I pull out with Gifts Ungiven.
Or what if you get, like, one of those utility lands or something that's like tap a mana of any color. If it's used for an instant, it's uncounterable. Like, those sort of effects.
Yeah.
Like, just make it worse.
Yeah. Cavernous Souls instant. I wish that would work.
Yeah.
Work, but like it would.
But there's probably an effect like that.
Absolutely. And then, it's, if you have something like Leyline of Anticipation down with lets you cast things of flash, you could Gifts Ungiven to do the 2 tutor and even play the stuff if you have the mana.
Yep.
Before the end of their next turn. I would put this in a Loro probably instantly.
Yeah.
So,
because it was also printed in Double Masters 2022 and you can get it for less than $1.
Exactly.
Because it's banned in Commander, probably.
Probably. And all the CEDH players would snap it up instantly because it is a good card.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a ban list level good card. I don't really think it affects the culture of the game that much because it has a chance to be a game winner.
Yeah, I think.
But eventually the game has to end.
Yeah, there's an aspect that has come up on previous episodes that wasn't mentioned here, but I think this might lead to, which is, it's going to make that deck do the same thing every time. As long as you can get to your Gifts Ungiven, it's going to let you go and find your combo pieces and end the game the same way.
That's 1 in 99.
True.
Unless you're running, what is the Jace's tutor one, the blue tutor? I think it's Idyllic tutor. Or maybe that's the white one.
Idyllic gets you an enchantment.
That's the white one.
Yeah. But yeah, there's ways to tutor instance now.
But that means you're running, basically the deck you'll be running is a tutor deck.
or it's some kind of like maybe mono blue, or is it Spell Slinger deck, and there are ways to go and go through your library until you hit one, and you're just playing the numbers until you do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 1 of 99. This card can't be a commander.
No.
You don't have instant access to it. I think it's very good. I think it has ways to be broken.
Mm.
But in a game where Staff of Domination is legal and Cyclonic Rift is legal, which I both think should be legal, by the way.
I mean, Cyclonic Rift is expensive. I think I've
It
seen
is.
it once in games I've been involved in.
Yeah, and that was me.
Yeah.
I run it in a Loro. But like, I don't think this should be banned.
Yeah. I think if you hadn't shown me intuition,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Well, do you think intuition is why it should be banned?
No, I think intuition is like the change I would make to it to make
Okay.
it legal.
Okay.
Is to make it a 1 card or to make it sorcery speed, right? I think just with, I mean, we've seen this in our playgroup, even though we don't have people that like go crazy on like infinite combos and power and like really high power shit. It's like there are combos in every one of our decks that are low card count combos.
Yeah.
I think this would just, it'd be like an auto include in every
Blue deck.
at least blue deck.
Yeah.
And it would basically do what they're saying, I feel like, and it's something that like when we've played against friends of ours that like, you know, you've seen that deck 10 times and if it always goes the same way,
Yeah.
you don't really want to play that deck again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, can we do something else? Like I know what's going to happen here.
Exactly.
And I feel like
You're just going to keep putting slivers on the table, Lewis. Please stop playing the slivers.
There's going to be different slivers. It could be interesting.
Exactly. There's 46 slivers in the deck.
Yeah, but I feel like this card would just make every deck it's in do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I think when we talk about like Commander having all these varied and dynamic and just different experiences every time, this limits that potential.
Mm.
Again, like, is that enough to ban it? I think as we're learning more about the philosophy of what gets banned, it feels in line.
It definitely feels in line that way, where, you know, I can definitely see if this became unbanned, it's like, cool, every deck is now running Gifts Ungiven.
Yeah.
If you got blue, you're running it.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe it would convince people to splash and they just don't want people splashing. And again, if you're splashing in Commander, I'm worried about your deck building.
It feels antithetical.
It really does.
Like you are having to change Commander just to get access to other cards. Like one of my favorite things to do is like, I'll open some packs from a new set or something and I'll come across a legendary creature that has an interesting effect. I'm like, yeah, but I don't love that color identity.
Yeah.
But then I'll just start playing around with like, what would I do?
Yeah.
And then half the times I'll end up getting to like 60 cards out of 100 and I'm like, oh, I think I might actually want to commit to this.
Yeah.
And that to me is part of the fun of building a Commander deck, is exploring different ideas and play styles and mechanics that I would otherwise just kind of avoid because Selesnya is super comfortable.
It really is. It's the easy entry.
Yeah.
And add a little red to it and you just have the most easy way to get into the game.
Yeah.
Naya.
Yeah.
Look, I think if we were forced to, not forced, but if we were going to change one thing about the card to make it more palatable, I think changing it from an instant to a sorcery would be just...
Because you're already having to sink 4 mana into it, it means that it's more likely for it to be countered because you're not waiting until everybody's tapped out right before your turn to do it. If you're talking about like optimal play with a card like this.
And you're main phasing it is as well. So like you having to use that 4 mana. Whatever you find, you can't put down in your turn because you're not untapping unless you're, you know, running one of those cards that gives you an extra untap upkeep draw.
There's ways to do that shit for sure in every color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think making it sorcery speed might get it out of ban territory. I think the fact that it will always give you 2 cards unless you choose less than 4. Like if you go all the way to search up 4 cards, give someone a choice, you're always getting 2 cards.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any tutor in the game that's legal that lets you dig 2. That isn't like 2 lands that share a type or, you know, that kind of shit.
I think so.
I think the fact that it gives you 2 cards is the problem,
Yeah.
not instant versus sorcery speed.
And it's very cheap because, like, again, something that lets you find 2 creatures from your library and reveal them to the nail is a 7 cost.
So here's one of the things I did actually go and look up. Something that Scryfall will give you as one of the, there's like a series of links under the card information. One of them is Moxfield decks with this card. Most of them are obviously modern decks and things like that. But what I saw a lot of was things like Baral, Goblin, was it Goblin? Is it like there's a card that makes instants and sorceries cost 1 less.
Yeah.
Like play sets of those plus
Goblin
4 of plus 4 Gifts Ungiven, basically you're playing this for 1 blue.
Yeah.
It's so easy to cost reduce.
Well, and that's
on
where the
something like that.
splashable makes sense in
Yeah.
modern and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
because like you splash in higher formats all the time.
Yeah.
What was it? You would splash green for Tarmogoyf in every deck when Tarmogoyf was a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Look, I think it should be unbanned.
Should is an interesting choice.
I think
of
it
word.
could. Sorry, I think it could be unbanned as is.
Yeah, I still don't think it can. I have to sit on the tutor for 2 being the crux of this one of you can just go get 2 cards and nothing else lets you do that.
And you're just keeping the scoreboard at this point. Because either way,
No,
you win.
I will if we come across one that I think could get out of ban status, like I will say it.
Paradox Engine.
But the more that we've talked about it and hearing the actual reason, the more I think through
Damn it.
how easy it would be to dig up a game winner and for that to just be a repeatable thing.
I convinced you. He was on the fence,
Yeah.
pointing towards unbanned, and I told him why it should be banned.
Yeah.
God!
I mean, like, it was basically what I said before we did research.
Yeah.
It just allowed me more time to think specifically about that being the problem. I was looking for, like, ways this would combo or interact with other cards that I hadn't thought of, but it's like, no, it is just tutor for 2, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got another one for the remains banned list. You can see the remains banned list here, and the unbanned list nowhere, because it doesn't exist right now. If you want to find us on other things, why don't you go to TikTok? We're on TikTok at Casual Compliance.
Yep.
We're on Twitter, not calling it the other name, at Casual Show. No, Compliance Show.
Compliance.
I will get it right once.
Compliance show. I need to remember to put, like, visual aids on the screen.
Yes.
So that it's written out.
It's just the guy from South Park.
The links are in the description. You can find them there.
Compliance Show on Twitter, at Casual Compliance on Patreon, on TikTok, on YouTube. You're probably watching this on YouTube, but if you're listening to the audio format and you're, using this as a sleeping aid, tell me what your dreams are in the chat. Or you can email us.
But also,
Horror! You can email us at casualcompliance@gmail.com as well. Please, I'm going to read a live email when we get our first one.
I'm going to ask that you vet that with me first.
I'm not going to. Far out. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough cookie.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gifts Ungiven.
Yeah.
We should actually sign off the episode properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Gramps.
I
How do we
was.
sign off?
I mean, I don't know, just like actually saying goodbye to people.
And you've been banned.